good morning, and good morning. All right, it's Monday morning already. It's already the 6th of May. The year's gonna rush through. You might as well know that. I'm ready for it. But are you ready for, it's going to be hot? It's going to be, they're expecting a hurricane. No, I'm not a weather girl. I just pay attention to some of the things that are going to go on in the world of where we live, and so I'm just looking at, okay, just rushing through. Hey, Debbie, how are you doing, my sweet friend? How's it going down there? Anyway, I'm already forecasting. My heat works downstairs, but the but the air is off. It doesn't work. So I'm already getting ready to call the people, and I'm not one who ever complains about it being too hot. But other people who might come in the house, like my daughter, she cannot stand it when it's so hot in here. So anyway, I have them coming already, Debbie. I've already placed the call. But anyway, how's everybody? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about scamming. And let's face it, um, people are out to steal whatever you have worked hard for, period. Some people are never going to work. Their job is to make sure that they get what you've worked for. And, they have some really high statistics out that I had been, I kept hearing it on the mail, on the radio, and I received a little notice in the mail that, I was a part of a breach that went on with those of us who pay our electronic payment to the local city for garbage take up. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. that So that being said, I said I need to look into that. Who else is probably being scammed and we just don't know it? So here's some statistics that I found. I pulled off of the federal report this morning, and it says in 2023, Americans reported losing $10 billion to fraud. 10 billion. Now, sometimes your bank may be a little bit encouraging, a little bit supportive about maybe the inattention that we give to our accounts, but $10 billion is a lot of money. Good morning, Joan. How you doing? I've addressed this before. I think I addressed this in 2021, but they said it's gotten worse. That scamming has gotten to the point it's just outrageously high being done, especially to people who don't pay much attention to their accounts. That's the first thing. Or to the elderly, the people who will answer the phone or will, listen to people who tell them that, you're running a piracy kind of software on your computer. You're going to lose control of your computer. They got access to and then they give up more information on themselves, which becomes, of course, fraud because they take money after that. But anyway, this is according to the Federal Trade Commission. It says that $10 billion ends up being $1 billion more than it was in 2022. And remember, I did this originally in 2021 discussing this, but I just trying to put it out there in the airways that people need to be attentive to their money, where it is, what's going in the account, what's coming out their accounts. If they're still using, a number that, especially like an old telephone number, they love to do those because they know that means that the person has not progressed enough, that they have become sophisticated to use online banking and all of that. Still doesn't matter because online banking can still be an issue. But anyway, they said that these people are out there. It says when people reported losing 8.9 billion in the scams in 2022, now it's 10 billion. They're saying that it may escalate to 2 or 3 more billion this year, in 2024. So, it's just unbelievable. And it says the median amount that they lose starts roughly at $500. So you don't even think about it because you think, well, it's only $500. But excuse me, but if you have, millions and millions of people losing $500, they're in it. It answers the bottom line: money, stealing, your money, taken. That's what you look at it. It says a well-known company or financial institution reported that $752 million was lost in 2023 to business imposters, calling to say that, it's the police department and, your son. And I don't know if you all saw the recent incident where they were trying to shake someone down, a man, with, and I guess it was like Uber, was like an Uber Eats or an Uber or something. But it was one of these calls that the man picked up, and they told him, we have your son, and we're going to kill him if we don't have this. And so the elderly man got a gun. The person came to pick up a package, which was supposedly this money. And the woman was shot. Now, she was an Uber driver. She was shot and killed by the elderly man. I don't know if you all heard that, but you have to ask yourself what makes sense. And sometimes if you don't have anybody watching over what you're doing, you may be a part of a scam. And it's just gotten so horrible that they're starting to put out special warnings, trying to get the information out to you, friends, elderly, that they have to do something to protect their investment, their money. And this was like another little sheet that was out there this morning, and it talks about what they're expecting things to go up to. It's just ridiculous. And they'll say people have had property stolen where their houses that they're living in, someone else gets access to their deed, signs it over to themselves, and next thing you know, the house has been sold out from under them, and they've had to move. So just crazy stuff. So anyway, I ask you this morning, do occasionally get stuck? Have any of you been scammed for $5, $20, $500? Well, I had one. And I'll tell you about it. I bought I really wanted this bag that was very expensive. And, I said, I'm going to get it. I deserve it. I've worked all these years. So I bought the bag and I thought I was buying it from a legitimate site. They were not. Well, what they sent me was a bag, and I think I ordered like a Louis Vuitton, but what they sent me was a Michael Kors knockoff. Okay, clearly it was knocked off. And I tried to go back through my bank, and I paid with a credit card. Good morning, Adelia. We're talking about scam today. And I went back through my bank account through my credit card, not a debit. And they said, well, we have it that it was listed for this and that. And I said, I did not pay that much money, because it was like $400 and maybe $80, so it was a lot of money. And I sent it off, and it came back. As I said, we tried to send it, but it said the instructions were to send the bag back. This is from my bank. Send the bag back, and then they would continue to look at it. They gave me my money back, so I did get my money back. But the bag returned a second time, not once, but twice, because the address that they used was a fraudulent address. So it couldn't even go back. And it was someplace in China. So once again, if we don't watch out, we will become victims. So have any of you become victims of a scam, even if it was for $5, $10, $20, or like me, $470, but I got my money back only because I stayed on it and chased it down. But how many of us do that? Not all of us do. So what is a scam? It says it's a dishonest, excuse me, Debbie. Yes. Okay, I was. All right. It says, yes, dishonest scheme. It's a fraud. It's a swindle. It's fraudulent. It's a scheme, a racket, a trick, a diddle, a con job, a flim flam. It says it's also a kite, a ramp, a twist, a hustle, some of everything, isn't it? It says it's a drift, a bunko, and a boondoggle. It's some of everything we can think of. All kinds of descriptive words that says low, low, lowest, or low, lower, lowest. It's horrible. It's horrible that somebody would take anything that does not belong to them and take it as their own. But they do. They do. So when we break the word down this morning, for my S, I have shakedown because that's exactly what I feel it is. It's a shakedown, an act or an instance of shaking someone down, especially extortion. That's what I think it is. Identity theft. Absolutely. That's another one where they steal your identity, steal your property, your identity. They'll steal your money. They steal everything. They will steal everything. And how about, I don't know if you all have paid attention to a recent documents online and actually in terms of story print where they're talking about people who have someone come, they give them like, you can come and stay with me a few weeks and then you'll have to find your place, and they say okay. But what happens is, okay, after 30 days you cannot put them out. You have to take them to court. You have to take them to court. So, even the goodness of your heart may last 30 days. And then you find out after the 30 days, they got you. And so then it becomes the goodness in their heart because they aren't worried about you. They're not worried about you. They're going to say, well, they asked me to stay and they didn't mind that I stayed. So now they have to evict them. Crazy. That's crazy stuff. Scum. Scumbag. Oh my God. Sabotage. Yes. And Satan's work. Oh, all good. All good. I swear. So anyway, what I have for a shakedown talks about it being basically when somebody's beating you or bilking you out of something. They're bleeding whatever they can get. It's a chisel. It's a cheat. It's a con job. It's defraud, diddle. I mean, there's so many words to describe shakedown, scam. Okay. Oh, safeguard. Yeah, safeguard is what we need to do, but not always do we know to do it. It says it's also a skim when somebody's skimming you, or they're squeezing you, they're swindling you. Or you become victimized, which is what I think my description is online. I talk about becoming the victim. We become victims of people who decide that they're going to deal with us a certain way. And it's not a legal deal. It's a divisive deal. It's a steal. It's just crazy. It's crazy. When I move on in my word, I have the word choust. And choust means to swindle, to cheat, often followed by out of or a person who deceives. They says they are defrauds. They're tricksters. There you go. Here's another little word, tricksters. The choice is those who swindle. And I believe during our lifetime, probably all of us have run into someone who has swindled them. When I lived in New York, one of the big things is if you ever was in Times Square, you always seen somebody with a coat on and they'd open up their coat and decide what kind of watch you need. I got every watch you need. They're always selling something. I got diamonds. Excuse me. How could those diamonds be real and you're on the street? Either they're stolen or it's just cheap stuff. It's basically costume jewelry. But this is what they do. Cheaters, yes, cheaters. Captivate, yes. Criminals, all those, good. So when you watch people, you have to understand that not everybody is trying to be fair when they deal with you. They're not. It says a person who would joust are people who are intentional. They intentionally want to trick you out of something, you know. Um, and I mean, how many of us have probably purchased stuff we thought it was good, we got it home, it turned before we could even get it into the house. That's how bad it was, you know. It says some of the synonyms for joust are like um, to beat, to bilk, to bleed, to chisel, to con, to cozen, to defraud, to diddle, to do. It says to fiddle, to fleece, the flim flam, the gaff, the hose. You know, when they say they're hosing you, they said that basically they're swindling you. It says to hustle, to mulch, and to nobble. All of those words are the same as if someone, and the craziness. I love that too. It is crazy. It is crazy to come up with people that would do that. And the ironic thing, in Britain, they have, you know, the word chouse, but for them it means to pluck, to ream, to rip off, to rook, to screw, to shake and down, but they're not shake down together like the American says. There's a shake and down. It says to short change, to skim, to skunk, squeeze, to stick. Wow, to stick somebody, to stiff them. Now I've heard that before, to stiff them, to sting, to sucker, to swindle, and it says to victimize. So similar to the way Americans have their words, it's very, very similar into what scamming is all about. I don't know, to have something taken from me that doesn't belong to them or someone else, I feel victimized. I really do. So I look at it as, if I need to take you to jail and put a bond on you, I'm going to do it. You know, so if I catch you, you going. You don't have to even worry. In fact, yesterday some friends of ours and mine, we went out to lunch to Whiskey Joe's over on the beach, and there was a lady there talking to us, and she said she was one of the day on managers, and she said that someone stole her brand new motorcycle and had the audacity to call her up and say, hey, look, I didn't have anything to do with it, but I did buy your motorcycle for $1,000. And, you know, did that, there's some things wrong with it, and this and that and this and that. Well, she reported him and he did go to jail, but he was trying to get it back to her. And she said, no, that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you have to take the law into your side piece. Just say, hey, look, we got our eye on you. We know you did it. Here's what's going to happen to you. And don't back down, because, you know, I'm not going to back down. If someone took something from me, then they need to go to jail for it. They need to be prosecuted for whatever they took. That's the way I feel about it. So when I get on to my A says alert. How alert are we? How much attention do we pay to buying things? Okay. Where we buy them from, who we buy them from, what are we really getting? You know, are they legitimate? So we need to be on alert. We need to pay attention. You know, like I have a couple of people who are elderly, more elderly than I am. And I'm constantly telling them, do not answer your house phone. Your house phone's an emergency. Only use it when you have to call out. You know, like when you need something, but don't answer it when they're coming in, because generally speaking, by now, most people have mobile phones. A house phone becomes a trap because they say this person has not moved on. This is an easy target. So I don't use house phones. I don't use it. My phone rings. It's only if I told you to call it because my cell phone was dead or something. And I had already told you, if it's dead, try that. But no, I don't use it at all. I never pick it up. So the alert talks about we need to be quick to notice any unusual and potentially dangerous or difficult circumstances. Sometimes we're in the, well, life is good. And life is good, but you also have to be good to the life that you have by paying attention to what it is you own, where it is you go, where you place your money, who has access to anything that you have that's personal. You have to be alert. It says, so you need to be quick to notice any unusual and potentially dangerous or difficult circumstances. Sometimes we don't pay attention. We don't. Let's see. Adept, that's right. Adjust, we must. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to tell the people who are, they're just not, computer savvy or mobile phone savvy. Teach them something. Teach them. Help them out so that they don't become victims, because they know, scammers know where the weaknesses are. They know the weaknesses of those who have gotten older, where weakness would lie. And so they're playing on it. They're playing on it. Abnormal, have to pay attention. That's really good too, Joan. Paying attention to abnormal things that are going on. So it says that we must pay attention to what is possible, what are possible dangers. We must pay attention. It says we must be vigilant. It says we must stay wide awake and aware of watchful and attentive, observant, circumspect, wary ways, because that means someone is paying attention to you, and you must pay attention to what it is they're doing. It says that it says that we must be look for, heedful, canny, on the lookout for whatever's going on, whatever's going on. And it says you have to be on your guard, on one's guard, on one's toes. And it says pay attention to what you hear and what you don't hear, what you see and what you don't see. Those things, we have to be attentive. It says all eyes, keeping one's eyes open would be peeled to whatever's going on. And it says keeping weather ear open. And I guess in this case, a weather ear is just saying that I'm hearing everything that might be occurring. That's what they're saying, the weather ear. So anyway, that's good. It says a croc is thinking while we are sleeping. Absolutely. Some people stay up all night while we're asleep, and they're being very, very creative on how it is that they can get, access to your money, your property, even you. Look at all the love scams. I have somebody on my page right now, and I know his cousin or uncle or nephew. I know his nephew. And I told him the other day, I said, hey, I don't know this guy, So anyway, I'm about to block him. I just been busy all weekend, but I hadn't been on Facebook other than to just post the events I've been at. But I'm about to block him because he hasn't gotten the understanding that I have no intentions of dealing with him. I'm not looking for romance that way. No way. Okay. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you? Today we're talking about scams and how we need to be attentive and pay more than attention. We have to look it out. We have to sit it out, wait it out to make sure that we're clear of anybody trying to take anything that does not belong to them that is ours. We have to. So my M, what would you put for your M if we're talking about the word scam? What would you put for a scam, the M of scam? What would you put? I know you guys got this. I'm drinking some water. Monitor. Oh, that's excellent. Monitor. That's an excellent one. Look for misinformation. Be mindful. All those are great. Ardelia, Debbie, Joan, all of those are great. I had what is meaningful, having meaning. If something is meaningful to you, then you have to make sure you protect it. You protect it. If your house is meaningful, protect it. If your Your bank accounts, protect them. Okay. Your cell phone, protect it. You don't let people have access to things that belong to you that are personal. And people are intending to get as close to you to get as much as they can of what it is you have. If they're interested in just being scamful, mindful is good too. Okay. Magnitude, yes, that's good too. I have meaningful meaning, having meaning, being significant, relevant, making things that very important. Your passwords are important. Your bank accounts are important, but they need to be protected. You don't give them to everybody. It's the same thing of, access to your house, access to you, all those things have to be protected. And people will scam to get access to you and access to your accounts and to your house and all those kinds of things. They said that, the probably the number one area where people are scammed, and I don't have the statistics, but the one they mention are love, relationships where, you love somebody falls in love with you and they're over in, Africa. They may be in Nigeria or they're in Jamaica, but there's someplace out of our country, not a part of our country, but they're interested in love. And they say that it's based on how you look. And then you start talking with them and you get offline, and then offline gets more and more and more serious. And ultimately, they have a crisis and they need money, or they're coming, but they need money to get here, and all kinds of things that really suggest that you are becoming a victim, but you don't pay attention to it because you're in love. You think you're in love, and they claim that they love you and they're going to do this. And I know Dr. Phil used to do those exposing sessions with people, and some of the people on his show would never admit that it was a scam. They said, nope, he loves me. He's just waiting for me to do this. And then you find out how much money that they've gotten rid of. And some of them, it's their life savings, millions of dollars, gone, can't be retrieved, gone. So we need to talk about what is meaningful to us and making it where it says it becomes what is the material that it is that it holds, who we should tell, if anybody, and sometimes it's nobody. Whether it's too weighty for us to have, then that means we would have maybe a family member, a child, a parent that we would tell things to, and that way we would have some cover. Also, making sure that even your accounts don't have one level of security. Make sure it has two. And in some cases, it's three, because then they want to verify who you are, and they need the passwords, and they need, then they're going to do all of the other, the eye scan and all that kind of stuff that they do. And then they have valid. It should be that meaningful means valid. It's worthwhile, and there is a purpose for it, that you would hold on to whatever belongs to you, be it money, be it property, be it who you are as your own person. I think there's nothing worse than to rock the core of somebody, that they would lose confidence in who they are just because someone decided that they wanted whatever it is that you had or you could give them, and that they would take it. I just believe that people are, the squatters. Yes. The squatters are scary. Yeah. Yeah. When they showed that on TV the other day as one of the areas that they were really concerned about, I was like, wow, they can come and squat. What? That doesn't even make sense, but I don't know. I think in the state of Florida, they just changed theirs where, I think they changed it to being more expeditious of getting rid of people. But at one time, it was a good length of time for you to evict anybody out of your house, anybody. It was costly, but I think they've reduced the cost and they've shortened the amount of time it takes to get someone out. So listen, all I'm giving you understand that periodically I will come back with some of these that when they keep getting in the news and making it where it's just really a must do, must pay attention to, I'm going to bring it to you again. Pass it on. Pass it on to friends that you may have out there that may be, older than you or less wise than you, because some people don't have to be old to not be wise about what's really going on. Some people just want love and they don't know that love is costing them money or costing them property or their own person. All right. But have a wonderful day. I'm going to be back on Wednesday. My goodness, Wednesday the 8th. Can you believe it? Wednesday, the 8th of May. We're almost headed towards the half part of the year. So pretty soon it'll be hurricanes and whatever else. But and Christmas. But anyway, Halloween. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming. If you don't do anything else, no money charged here. But if you would hit that share button, that would be so wonderful. But listen, I love each of you. I appreciate you coming. Pass it on. All right. Thank you, guys. See you then. Bye-bye. Love you.